Good evening and welcome. You're watching Breaking Views with me, Sanket Upadhyay, a show where we get you all the views so that you get the complete picture. Now, that song that you heard was obviously in the backdrop of, it was from the movie Gangs of Wasepur, but what is happening politically in Bihar, this song is suited to what is happening. Of course, the supporters of Nitish Kumar and RJD are saying Jio. And there is also a very sarcastic way of saying the same word in those parts. When somebody has done something that Nitish Kumar has done, you use the same expression but sarcastically, Jio. So that's what has happened in the case of Nitish Kumar. But you know the big question that we are asking? While Nitish Kumar has attempted this yet again, a bloodless coup yet again, a change yet again, and earning the title yet again of being Kursi Kumar, he has redefined the expression Sabka Saath. He does not shy away from taking the saath of anyone for political gains. But the point is, this is not the Nitish Kumar of the 90s, of the 2000s, of 2010, 2015. This is a Nitish Kumar whose performance is muted. And thus the question that we are asking is, that how long can Nitish Kumar's Sabka Saath model work before the next set of fault lines come to the fore? Let's first get you the numbers, because the number of the Vidhan Sabha has to be understood first. So the total seats 243, current strength 242, majority mark 122. So what is happening over here is that the ruling alliance, which is the JDU and the BJP, is now no more the ruling alliance. This is now only BJP, which has now become opposition, and every other opposition player, including the JDU, has now come to power. So the roles have instantly switched. Only BJP as the opposition, and the entire opposition is now the government. And JDU plus RJD plus Congress plus Hindustan Awam Morcha plus MIM plus Left plus Independence plus CPI-ML and CPI, you combine all of that, this is 164, a massive mandate, a massive number when you compare it to the majority mark. The BJP would need 45 MLAs to be able to reach the 122 mark, and that's proving to be a bit difficult. Tomorrow is the swearing in at 2 p.m. where Nitish Kumar is going to take oath along with Tejasvi Yadav as the Deputy Chief Minister. Let's also quickly tell you the experiments that, why we are saying that this is use and throw, dump and move on politics of Nitish Kumar, Kursi Kumar as he's called, and his Sabka Saath formula. How he has done that in the past, let's quickly take a look at that. So in 1994, he split from Lalu Prasad Yadav to form his own party called the Samta Party. Parted ways and formed the Samta Party. Between 1996 to 2013, the Samta Party stayed with the Bharatiya Janata Party. He was also the rail minister at the center. But in 2013, when he learned that Narendra Modi is coming to power, he separated from the NDA, saying that I am not happy with Narendra Modi's candidature. In 2014, he formed an alliance with Lalu Yadav after 20 long years, ever since he broke. In 2015, he formed the government with Lalu Prasad Yadav again. So within a matter of a few years, this happened. Then in 2017, again couple of years, he parted ways from Lalu Prasad Yadav and went with the Bharatiya Janata Party, alleging that there were graft allegations and not happy with the way things are going. Between 2019 and 2020, he fought the assembly elections in alliance with the BJP, and he was made the chief minister, though the JDU came number 3. They were not the number 1 party, not the number 2 either, number 3, and yet they was made the chief minister. In 2020, Prashant Kishore, who was made the vice president of the party, was also removed. And now in 2022, Nitish Kumar has decided that he will go back to the formation of 2015 and will be a part of this grand alliance, the Mahagathbandhan. The point is this constant flip-flop change, go with this arrangement, this alignment, dump this alignment, go to the next. How long can Nitish's Sabka Saath model work? Because over the years, instead of growing, Nitish Kumar's base is shrinking. And if he thinks that a 77 MLA strong BJP is harming him, does he really think that a 79 member strong RJD won't in this political game of thrones of Bihar? How long can Nitish Kumar's Sabka Saath model work? That's the question that we are asking. And we also, there are a couple of larger questions for the opposition, how the opposition looks at this. Can 2022 define 2024 and how the opposition will shape up? Let's introduce our guest. Aishwarya Mahadev is a spokesperson of the Congress Party. Dr. Ashok Sinha, spokesperson of the BJP in Bihar. Arun Kumar, former General Secretary of the JDU and close associate of Nitish Kumar. Satish Chandra Dubey is a Rajya Sabha MP from Bihar. Thank you very much. Satish ji, I want to begin with you first. And Smita Gupta. Thank you very much, Smita Gupta, for joining us. My first question to you, सतीश चंद्र दुबे, मैं आपसे ये पूछना चाहता हूं कि आज आप उनको कुर्सी कुमार बोल दीजिए, पलटू राम बोल दीजिए, सबका साथ बोल दीजिए, बट द पॉइंट इज दैट वो इतना फॉर्मिडेबल अलायंस है, 164 लोग एक साथ हैं कि आप चाह के भी कुछ नहीं कर सकते. आपको लगता है कि जो बीजेपी और राज्यों में कर रही थी ऑपरेशन कमल, वो आज बिहार में आपके साथ हो गया, ऑपरेशन तीर?
देखिए, ऑपरेशन तीर क्या है, हम विपक्ष में बैठेंगे, विपक्ष के भूमिका में रहेंगे, लेकिन 2020 में जो चुनाव हुआ था एनडीए गठबंधन के तहत, नीतीश जी हम लोग के साथ चुनाव लड़े थे और बिहार की जनता जंगल राज के विरुद्ध में बहुमत दिया था, लेकिन उस जनता के साथ ठगने का काम नीतीश कुमार जी ने किया है और बिहार की जनता आने वाले दिन में कहीं न कहीं से उनको बकसने नहीं जा रही है और बिहार की जनता को कहीं ना कहीं से फिर जंगल राज पार्ट 2 का डर सताना शुरू कर दिया है.
नहीं दुबे जी, ये जो आप जनता की बात कर रहे हैं, मतलब क्या आप चुनाव की ओर इशारा कर रहे हैं या एक आरोप आपके ऊपर ये लगता है कि जहां भी स्थिति अनुकूल नहीं होती है वहां आप ईडी की एक इकाई खोल देते हैं? तो क्या अब हम ये देख सकते हैं कि देखिए पटना इकाई खुलने वाली एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट?
देखिए ईडी से डर उसी आदमी को हो जो गलत किया है. आपको याद होगा कि 8 साल से नरेंद्र मोदी जी देश के प्रधानमंत्री हैं. लालू परिवार को कोई ऐसा व्यक्ति गिफ्ट जमीन नहीं दिया. उसके पहले जितना लोग था केवल गिफ्ट में जमीन देता था. तो आखिर ईडी कहां जाएगी? ईडी किस काम के लिए बनी है? जहां गलत होगा वहीं ईडी जाके अपना काम करेगी. ईडी अपना काम करती है, करती रहेगी, लेकिन जो गलत नहीं है उसको ईडी से डरने की कहां जरूरत है?
Ji, let me now bring in Aishwarya Mahadev. Aishwarya, what is the message here for the opposition? I mean, you know for a fact that Mr. Nitish Kumar is a slippery customer. He has done that, this flip-flop in the past also. So what really is the message for the opposition ahead of 2024? I mean, you know how the BJP is joking about this, that the opposition has got one more PM contender.
You know, Sanket, before that, as Mr. Dubey said, and if you're afraid of the ED, you join the BJP and then you get a clean sheet, and that is the reality in India today. So, Sanket, there is politics of opportunity, there is politics of aspiration, there is politics of foresight. And I think in this circumstance, I think that in all coalitions, there's a certain amount of symbiotic relationship, but the BJP is parasitic. If you look at the previous term, whether it was vote share, whether it was the seats, and the manner in which being a coalition partner, that the BJP trampled upon, let's say, Nitish Kumar's party using whether the Paswan model or also putting up, you know, these other candidates elsewhere to bring down the tally of who their predominant alliance partner was. I think Mr. Nitish Kumar has realized that not only is his party shrinking because of his own alliance, it also thinks the future of regional parties are at stake. And for him, he's decided today to obviously work together again with, you know, it wasn't anything where we offered. It's also very unique in a circumstance where the BJP seems to be cobbling up governments by destroying other coalitions, whether it's Maharashtra, you saw it all across, you saw it in Karnataka. It's very unique in today's circumstance that without the horse trading, without the wild manner in which, undemocratic manner in which governments are brought down by the BJP. You see one of the BJP's allies themselves walking away. Now you obviously will see a very, wonderful sequence of events, whether it is threat, whether it is coercion, whether if they can manage to pull away 40 plus people or even use the threat of institutions. But if a regional party is walked away saying this is the future of our party that the BJP is destroying, then it is something that all other parties all across are going to look at in 2024. I think anybody who aids, anybody who adds to that united opposition against this sort of juggernaut of just electioneering which goes against democracy, I think the Congress party and all opposition parties would welcome, as long as we can work cohesively, Sanket.
Okay. Arun Kumar is the former General Secretary of JDU. Arun ji, this allegation against Mr. Nitish Kumar, that he's never to be trusted. And there is a track record on the basis of which this has been said. So, how comfortable is this new alliance going to be? And have you been able to sort out the fault lines with the RJD? For instance, you had a whole long list of problems with the RJD, of corruption, of how they had institutionalized chaos when you were in power with them from 2015 to 2017. Have all those differences been ironed out?
देखिए, जहां तक मेरा ख्याल है कि जब तक नीतीश कुमार आरजेडी के साथ रहे, उन्होंने एक बार भी यह आरोप नहीं लगाया कि हम उनसे परेशान हैं, उनके भ्रष्टाचार से परेशान हैं।
जी बाहर आते ही लगा दिया, बात तो बराबर हुई ना?
नहीं, मैं जब तक उनके साथ रहे तब तक नहीं लगाया। वैसे ही जैसे आज बीजेपी कह रही है कि नीतीश कुमार ने धोखा दिया है और आज उनके साथ सरकार में नहीं है, ऐसे ही नीतीश कुमार ने गठबंधन किया था, जनता ने उनको वोट दिया था और नीतीश कुमार ने उस गठबंधन को तोड़ करके भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ दिया। आज देश के सामने जो सबसे बड़ी चुनौती है, वो जो सांप्रदायिक ताकतें जिस तरह से बढ़ रही हैं, लोकतंत्र जिस तरह से खत्म हो रहा है, बेरोजगारी का सवाल है, महंगाई का सवाल है, यह देश के सामने बड़े मुद्दे हैं। और जिस तरह से भारतीय जनता पार्टी अपने सहयोगी दलों को हर स्टेट में खत्म करती जा रही है, जिस तरह से महाराष्ट्र में सरकार को गिरा दिया, जिस तरह से कर्नाटका में सरकार गिराया, पूरी कोशिश हो रही है कि झारखंड में भी सरकार गिर जाए। इस तरह से देश में विपक्ष की भूमिका को ही सरकार खत्म कर देना चाहती है और उनके पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष ने कहा है कि अब केवल बीजेपी ही रहेगी।
अरुण जी, मेरा सवाल दूसरा था। मेरा यह कहना था कि अब आपको बीजेपी से प्रॉब्लम है तो आपने यहां इनका दामन थामा, लेकिन आपको इनसे भी प्रॉब्लम थी। आपका यह कहना है कि उस समय रहते हुए हमने कुछ नहीं बोला, निकल करके बोला, तो ये तो कोई बात नहीं हुई। आप इतना देयर वाज सो मच कंपल्शन दैट यू वॉकड आउट एंड यू हैव बीन कॉन्स्टेंटली वॉकिंग आउट फ्रॉम अरेंजमेंट्स एंड चूजिंग द सेम प्लेयर्स। एक तरीके से आप एक ही गलती बार बार दोहरा रहे हैं।
देखिए,
हाउ लॉन्ग? आई होप यू रियलाइज योर बेस इज ऑल्सो श्रिंकिंग। आपकी पार्टी की कितनी संख्या बल थी और अब कितनी हो गई?
देखिए, मैं आपको साफ बता रहा हूं कि मैं बीजेपी जेडीयू में नहीं हूं। हाँ। मैं जेडीयू में 20 साल रहा हूं, मैंने पार्टी को बनाया है और जिस दिन नीतीश कुमार जेडीयू बीजेपी के साथ गए उस दिन उन्होंने मुझे पार्टी से निकाल दिया। लेकिन आज मैं कह सकता हूं मेरे व्यक्तिगत मामले नहीं है, मामला है देश की अखंडता का, मामला है देश के में सांप्रदायिक ताकतों से मुकाबला करने का। आज नीतीश कुमार ने जो फैसला लिया है यह देश के लिए बहुत अच्छा है, बिहार के लिए भी बहुत अच्छा है। आज वो बिहार के सबसे बड़े शक्तिशाली नेता रहे हैं, उनके ही जमाने में काम हुआ है, लोग उनको अच्छी तरह से जानते हैं।
Okay, Smita Gupta, a larger question over here is going to be about opposition unity. How is the opposition script going to play out from here? And I did hear a brief mention of this in Tejasvi Yadav's comment also, that this should be a sort of a message to the opposition. So how do you see this playing out in opposition? Is this just some political arithmetic restricted to Bihar, or does it have a larger message for the opposition, which the opposition is going to take?
Well, certainly, if, as I see, Nitish Kumar is to be sworn in tomorrow at 4 p.m. That's
2
what I
p.m.
heard.
The latest that we have heard is 2 p.m. Yeah.
2 p.m. Whatever. He's going to be sworn in tomorrow as Chief Minister, along with the RJD, the Congress, and perhaps the CPML as well. Now, I think that when we talk about alliances in politics, there are some natural alliances and there are some unnatural alliances. The alliance that Nitish Kumar had with BJP was an unnatural alliance. This is a natural alliance because ideologically, the grouping that will be formed, which will take oath tomorrow, is ideologically on the same page.
But Smita, from 1996
I'm coming to that.
to 2013. This was the alliance.
No, I'm coming to that.
Yeah.
I am coming to that. It is, you began your, comments by saying that Nitish Kumar is a slippery customer. So let's take up that issue first. You have said that he has changed his alliance partners over the years for his own, benefit. There is no gainsaying that is a fact. We have seen it over the years that whenever he has been in a tight position, he has shifted his political partner. But today, what has happened? Speakers before me hinted at it, but nobody actually said it out loudly. The fact is that in Bihar, the reason why Nitish Kumar has done this is because his government was not going to last. There was an operation on in Bihar similar to the one in Maharashtra, except that Nitish Kumar got wind of it. The object of the BJP, like in other states, and like the other speakers have mentioned before me, was to break the JDU and then reform a government, possibly under a RCP Singh or some BJP leader. I don't have the details. So he decided that he would preempt them. That makes him a smart politician. He's got his ear to the ground. He has now decided to ally himself.
So you're saying that he has chosen, in his present scheme of things, he has chosen a lesser evil. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not
so
saying
in the present,
I'm saying he has chosen survival. Number two, to get your other point, if tomorrow.
So then the opposition should not read much out of this.
1 minute, can you just let me speak for a minute? If tomorrow this government comes to power, it will certainly have an impact on opposition politics because it will show, because the BJP has been having its way everywhere, like in Maharashtra and they're trying something in Rajasthan, Jharkhand, everywhere. I mean, it's one thing when the BJP actually goes to elections and wins an election, but to try and break governments, topple governments, if it has been stopped here, this will be a huge boost for the opposition parties, and it will certainly have an impact on 2024.
Dr. Sinha is also a spokesperson for BJP in Bihar. Dr. Sinha, what is your view? How do you look at this move?
This madam was telling is far from the ground reality. The truth is that Nitish Kumar thought that he is playing the last inning, and at this juncture he has nothing to show to Bihar. Why? Nitish Kumar in the last 5-6 years we have seen what he has done earlier. Now he has lost his esteem and he has nothing to show to Bihar. He wants that by hook or by crook, even by bringing RJD to power in Bihar, he will project himself as the Prime Minister's face. And only because of this, he has chosen this 9th of August today, which is a Muharram day. He was perturbed why BJP is making so much hue and cry over this PFI model and terror model in Bihar. Why BJP is
No, that's a new angle you have brought in, Dr. Sinha.
Yes,
you are saying Muharram Day. They are saying that this is the Quit India movement day.
Exactly.
No. Yes, quit.
अभी ये तो ऐसे लग रहा है, सतीश चंद दुबे जी, आपको भी लग रहा है ये मुहर्रम का दिन चुना गया, क्योंकि वो तो कह रहे हैं क्विट इंडिया. ये तो बिल्कुल वैसी बात हो गई जब अमित शाह ने ये बोला था कि कांग्रेस ने काले कपड़े उस दिन पहने हैं जिस दिन शिलान्यास हुआ था राम मंदिर का, ये तो वैसी बात हो गई।
नीतीश कुमार ने मुहर्रम का दिन चुना क्योंकि उनके पीएफआई मॉडल और टेरर मॉडल पे
अब यही दैट्स माय थिंग। सतीश चंद दुबे, अब एकदम से टेरर, पीएफआई, आतंकवाद, ईडी, सीबीआई, आईटी, ये वाली पटकथा अब सामने आएगी क्या बिहार में?
देखिए
ये तो फैक्ट था सीमांचल।
ये दुबे जी के लिए सवाल।
देखिए, सबसे बड़ी बात है कि जिसके संपर्क में जैसा लोग रहता है वैसा ही स्वभाव बन जाता है। तो PA5 का कहीं ना कहीं से सपोर्ट जो लोग करता है उसके गोद में जाके नीतीश कुमार जी बैठेंगे तो इसकी चर्चा तो होगी ही होगी। और इसमें इनकार नहीं किया जा सकता है कि आज मुहर्रम नहीं है, इससे भी इनकार नहीं
इसमें भी इनकार नहीं किया जा सकता कि आज क्विट इंडिया मूवमेंट की एनिवर्सरी है।
हाँ, तो ही क्विट डेवलपमेंट।
Where did he mention where did he mention Muharram? And Muharram is not a happy festival, by the way, Dr. Sinha.
Yes, today he chose the direct day because everybody knows that RJD gives direct message to MY. Nitish Kumar is a pawn. Nitish Kumar is now hand in gloves with the RJD.
Okay, Aishwarya Mahadev.
And
Aishwarya Mahadev's response.
You know, it is rich in how when Mr. Sinha talks about, you know, Nitish Kumar has been inefficient, he's in the element with these elements and talks about Muharram, which aptly is a festival, rather a day of repentance and sadness, and I agree. But the fact is, Sanket, you know, when he talks about it, weren't they his ally? Weren't they in partnership with him? Didn't they make him chief minister twice? Didn't they work with him? So it's almost like when you're with us, when you're with the BJP, everything is absolutely perfectly all right. The minute you leave, even the press conference of the Bihar BJP, you saw the sort of accusations that came out and you realize for the BJP, it's all a game of convenience. And now, until they were with Mr. Nitish Kumar, they will not talk about PFI and whatsoever, which mind you, if the BJP wanted, they could have banned him. They could have banned the organization. They could have done it. They have governments in both places, but they haven't. And now you will see the BJP bringing out its actual divisive politics, which is something that would have obviously destroyed any regional party that wanted to work with them. So you are pure and wonderful when you're in coalition with the BJP, but the minute you leave, there is no bigger
deal last comment by Mr. Arun Kumar. Mr. Kumar's last comment, please. Mr. Kumar. आपने सुन लिया, अब PFI की बात आ गई है यहाँ पर मुहर्रम की बात आ गई, अब ईडी सीबीआई भी आती होगी।
जी, मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं अपने बीजेपी के साथी को कि मुहर्रम के दिन का नहीं चुना उन्होंने आज क्विट इंडिया मूवमेंट है, जब गांधी जी ने अंग्रेजों भारत छोड़ो का नारा दिया था और यूसुफ मेहर अली ने इस नारे को दिया था, उसमें कांग्रेस पार्टी के सब नेता गिरफ्तार हो गए थे और देश के जो समाजवादी नेता थे, डॉक्टर राम मनोहर लोहिया, जयप्रकाश नारायण, आचार्य नरेंद्र देव, इनके नेतृत्व में 1942 को 9 अगस्त को अरुणा आसफ अली ने उस मैदान में, अगस्त क्रांति मैदान में झंडा फहराया। उस दिन को चुना है नीतीश कुमार ने ताकि समाजवादी आंदोलन को और तेजी के साथ बढ़ाया जा सके, इकट्ठा किया जा सके।
Don't try to confuse people of Bihar. People of Bihar
are well aware of
Mr.
Sinha.
Nobody is confused.
समाजवादियों की धरती है,
You're the
भाजपा की
person
धरती
that
नहीं है।
confused not only Bihar but all of us.
Samajwadi like Lalu Prasad, Samajwadi like Nitish Kumar, who are brazen opportunism, who
why did you allow yourself with an opportunist?
That is the point.
लालू यादव ने बड़ा दिल दिखाया है नीतीश कुमार के लिए। लालू यादव को मत
that is the point.
He's the hero of the day.
He's the hero of the day.
Okay, no, before we declare people heroes, Mr. Dubey, last comment, मुझे आप ये बताइए दुबे जी कि ये नीतीश कुमार के साथ ऐसा क्यों होता है कि जब वो आपके पास आ जाते हैं तो वो बेचारा, he was really suffering, so he finally came to the right place, and the moment he goes away, look, Nitish Kumar is an opportunist. Why can't you be consistent? Take a strong position. We won't take support of Nitish Kumar.
देखिए, नीतीश कुमार जी समय के साथ परिवर्तन करते रहते हैं, उनकी एक आदत में ही सम्मानित है।
तो आप क्यों उनका साथ देते हैं?
देखिए, जब बिहार की हालात को देखते हुए और बिहार का जो व्यवस्था समीकरण बनता है उसके हिसाब से करना ही पड़ता है। याद करिए ना, 1990 से लेकर 2005 तक बिहार की स्थिति क्या थी, तो उस परिस्थिति में एनडीए गठबंधन के बदौलत सरकार बनी और विकास के मॉडल पेश हुआ। इसमें कहीं संदेह नहीं है। अपराध
तो वहां
मुक्त हुआ।
नीतीश कुमार ही तो
लेकिन-
मुख्यमंत्री थे।
तो नीतीश कुमार जी तो हम लोग के सहयोग में थे, हम लोग उनके सहयोग में ही सरकार बनाई
दैट्स द पॉइंट। जब तक सहयोग में है तब तक ठीक है, कहीं और नीतीश कुमार चले जाएंगे तब प्रॉब्लम है। एनीवे, आई हैव रन आउट ऑफ टाइम। थैंक यू वेरी मच लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन। द डिस्कशन अराउंड बिहार and the possibilities, the limitless possibilities, is going to continue right here on NDTV. Swearing in tomorrow at 2 p.m.